I'm sure again you've had many engagement with DRC Chevening alumni in the Congo, but again, I know Ishara is very keen to make sure that those of you who are considering studying abroad have the right information and are basically supported. So continue to engage with Ishara and his team in terms of support locally as well. In terms of what university typically look for is first of all, in terms of academic ability. Are you going to be able to cope with the demand of what that course entail? Are you actually interested in the subject that you're looking to study? Do you understand the program? Have you looked at the module? And I'm going to sort of like really drill down onto this particular topic in a minute. And then any transferable skills. So you really need to show that you're genuinely committed to the subject that you want to study. You can show that by, demonstrating like your wider research, the wider research you've done, the work experience, any reading you've done on that particular topic. Basically make sure that you articulate. In terms of sort of like things to bear in mind, so think about why you want to do the course that you want to study, why that particular subject, what are your future aspirations? If you're a mature student, what have you been doing? Or even if you're not, do you have any work experience? What do you do in terms of your free time? What are your hobbies, your interests? What are the skills that you have? And some of these skills are also transferables. So making sure that you're articulating all of that. But being able to be selective in terms of what you decide to articulate. So I'll give you an example. When I applied to Warwick, I'm basically involved in quite a number of things, but there were certain things that I thought was not really important in terms of me mentioning in my application for public policy because it was not relevant. So making sure that you're articulating, basically you're selective in terms of what you're articulating. And to sort of like give you some sort of like, framing or, in terms of guideline, my advice is making sure that basically 70 to 80% are on the chosen subject that you want to study. And then the 20% should be on the extracurricular activities. So again, making sure that you're fully aware that your first draft will not be your final draft and really should not be your final draft. So give yourself enough time, even when it comes to applying for Chevening. Don't basically leave things to last minute and think that, a thing will just work out. Make sure that you plan, because when academics and assessors are assessing, they can tell which application has been basically, and even myself, sometimes when I assess some of the scholarship award at Warwick, I'm able to really see what student has sort of put much thought into what they've written, and those that have really just rushed, maybe they run out of time and they're literally like, I need to get this before midnight because deadline is at midnight or deadline is at 11 or at 9. So making sure that you plan ahead. You are here today, thanks to Chevening DRC alumni. So making sure that you basically plan ahead. Research, list your ideas, do your first draft, check, redraft, get people to read it for you and give you feedback. Do your final check, and then finally, when you are happy with it, submit. Again, in terms of how do you sort of like, basically what you can put in terms of your personal statement or your statement of purpose. So why do you want to study the subject that you want to study? What has influenced you to study that particular subject? Basically, what's your most relevant achievement that you want to highlight? Again, I've highlighted this already in terms of how I went about choosing and writing my own. And then how does your experience, the experience that you have to date, it could be volunteering, it could be things that you do already in your community or in your church. It could be anything really, but you just need to be able to articulate the skills that you've been able to pick from those, and also articulate it to fit into what it is that you want to study. So making sure that you stand out from the crowd. You want people to read your application, really like, wow, okay, this was really good. I need to read this again, or I need to put this application into like the maybe or the yes category. So list work experience. If you don't have any work experience, what can you do now? What can you do between now and the time that basically next year? What can you start doing so that you can articulate that, this in light of you wanting to study this particular program, you've started doing X or Y projects. Any volunteering program you can do. A company are always looking for volunteers. So again, if you're able to do that, then by all means, do that. Attend, talk, lectures. If by you attending today talk, that kind of give you more insight into Warwick. And then later on, when it comes to you writing your application, you want to sort of highlight some of the things that you learned today, make sure that it's selective and it's basically fit for what you want to write. But by all means, articulate that in your application. In terms of framework, Warwick University is all about framework, and I'll also give you some framework that you can go with. I'll advise that you have like an ABC rule or method. So have an activity, benefit, and the course. So what did you study? Why does it matter? And then relate it back to the course. So for instance, it could be that you attended the Spanish seminar or you attended the Warwick webinar today. What was the benefit? What did you learn from this? And then how do you sort of like, how do you relate that to the course that you want to study? So again, you'll have this recording, you can go back to this and make your points and sort of like just make sure that you are, as you sort of writing, you'll be able to take and say, okay, am I actually doing this as I'm writing? And then again, in terms of the other thing that you can think about, again, this was just an example that I wanted to give you, but I'm fully aware that time is pressing. So I'm going to try and basically crack ahead and then just sort of like really just show you some few examples in terms of things that you can articulate. So for instance, if let's say you're a sports team captain or you're a charity fundraiser, you could articulate your passion, your drive, or things that you've learned in terms of your communication, your persuasion, in terms of being able to raise money for, for a charitable organization, or maybe marketing, promotion, teamwork. And if let's say you're looking to go into courses that basically, whatever course it is that you really want to basically go into, because all of these courses, there's a teamwork element also involved, or budget awareness. So you can really see how you can use just one example in terms of things that you do in your free time or your hobbies to articulate your, your why and your passion and your drive and your communication, your leadership quality, your public speaking, your time management, and, the fact that you're reliable and all of that. Also, the other thing that I want you to sort of have a look at as you, deciding on courses is really thinking about, okay, let's say I want to do economics, or I want to do public policy. Why do I want to do public policy? Am I interested in international political economy, international security, international development? And if it is that I'm interested in international political economy, do I want to understand more about issues and actors in global economic governance and how that relate to, let's say, post-colonial approach to international political economy? So really being able to articulate your why in that sense. So making sure that as you think about your why, you're also using this framework to help you really position yourself for opportunity, not only in terms of scholarship, but also getting into top universities. These are, again, modules in terms of the PACE department where I'm studying, the module that are offered. So you're able to basically pick module from not only the department, but also you can pick module from other departments, because Warwick University has a transdisciplinary approach to teaching and learning. And then things to avoid, basically try to avoid writing sentences that are just quite loose, that do not mean anything. Check your spelling, your paragraph, make sure that you don't put jokes, don't plagiarize, you'll be caught. Literally do not plagiarize. And when you go to university, do not plagiarize as well, because you will definitely be caught. So making sure basically that you check your paragraph, there's no cliche, just remember to stand out. And then you can use positive languages like persuade, fascinated, intrigue, demonstrated, inspire, pursued, imagine, convene, organize. You can say, attended an event organized by Chevening, literally start articulating positive languages as it comes to you writing your personal statement, or why you want to go and study at a particular university, or why Chevening should basically select you. So again, my advice is give yourself enough time, be selective and concise, focus on basically your suitable, focus on why you want to study a particular subject, and then ask for help. If you have any question and you're applying to Warwick University, reach out to me directly, and I'll be happy to assist you and guide you. Also, the other thing to bear in mind, application typically takes 6 to 10 weeks at Warwick University. Different university in the UK, but also worldwide, will have different processing times, so make sure that you bear that in mind. If you have any question, again, the email address is africa@warwick.ac.uk, and we'll be happy to assist you. So how do you choose? So before I go on to how do you choose, I want to pause for a minute and just have a look if there's any question. Ishara, can you let me know if there's any question?
I will.
I'll take one question.
Um, so currently there isn't any specific question. It's just people are sharing their interest. But if there is a question,
Excellent.
I'm going to let you know.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for that. And as we sort of, before we move on to the next stage on how do you choose and choosing to really sort of like go deeper, I want you to take a moment and just pause and ask yourself, okay, so far in terms of what I've learned, what I'm looking to study, why do I want to study the course that I want to study? What is my why? So I really want you to take some time to, over the course of today and this weekend, take some time to really think about your why. And that will help in terms of when it comes to articulating why you want to study the course that you want to study. In terms of things that you can look at, it's basically incomes. When you're choosing your course or you're choosing university, you can look at income, you can look at flexibility of the program, you can look at the assessment strategy in the university. I'm just gonna close this. Yeah, you can look at the assessment strategy in the university. You can look at job security. Really think critically in terms of what's important to you. And then also when it comes to choosing your course, I've already touched on this, but I really want to sort of like drill down again, is look at the course content and course structure. Don't just skim the course and say, okay, I know already I want to do this program, so I know already. Look at the course content, understand the teaching methods, the teaching, the learning style that you'll basically have. Is he a large, basically what's the class size? Are you somebody that enjoy taking exam? Are you somebody that enjoy taking, writing coursework? Think about the assessment that, as you choose your module that you'll basically have for that particular course. Like for instance, my course in the department, in politics and international study department, are all basically coursework based. So I get to write policy paper, policy brief, a lot of essays, a lot of presentation as well. And those are things that I know I thrive in. I also do thrive in when it comes to exams. Somehow when I was a student back in, when I did my undergrad, my exam, and even when I did my international baccalaureate, I always performed better when it came to exam, like, taking in, sort of in-class exam as well. But think about what's important to you in terms of realm of possibility and how you you think you'll be able to thrive, and then choose accordingly as well, because different universities will have different assessment strategy and different assessment method as well. If again, some of your undergrads look at university in terms of 3-year option, 4-year option. Majority of UK university have 3-year options, unless if you decide to do a year abroad or gap year or placement, then you can complete your course in 4 years in terms of your degree. But in terms of master's program, typically they are just 1 year. So by you coming to study in the UK, you'll be spending just 1 year. And then as you choose university, look at reputation. You can, in terms of UK university, look at city, the difference between city, the campus, the old university, the modern, look at different size and shape of university, look at red brick, Russell group. Probably all of these new, words are new to you. Well, some of them, I believe. So making sure that you basically go back and look at all of these options, so that when you come to you deciding, you can say, I feel like I made an informed decision about where I decided to go in the end. I believe my screen, yeah, it's moving. Also, the other thing that I want in terms of summarizing, you can basically divide your choice or your sort of like your decision into two pathway. So on one aspect, you have the academic, and then the other, the non-academic. So in terms of the academic, you can look at research, outputs, the academic that will be teaching in that university or that have taught in that university, funding opportunities, study abroad, career guidance, reputation of the institution, but also making sure that you're bearing in mind the entry requirement for the university as well. And then the non-academic, the location, tuition fee, living cost, the culture of the institution, whether it's something that no one has control of, with global warming and all of that. But again, choosing to study in the UK versus choosing to study in Canada, it's different type of weather. So making sure that you're fully aware of that. And then facilities that the institution offers, student life, part-time work. If you come and study in the UK, you'll be able to work up to 20 hours during your time, during term times. And that basically articulated in your visa. So again, is that important to you? About what measure you're going to be using. And again, I want you to pause for a minute and just really think, what measure am I going to be using when I'm choosing to go and study at any university? Again, some acronym that you'll be seeing as you start doing your research, you'll see student satisfaction, NSS, you'll see TEF, which is teaching quality, or REF, which is research quality as well. Also seek opinion of others, but also know that each student journey is different. So as you seek opportunity and seek advice, making sure that you also know that their journey is their journey, and you'll go through your own journey yourself as well. Again, in terms of research tool, you're doing amazingly well already attending today's session, but continue looking at, ranking, do your research, attend events organized by university. If they happen to be in the DRC in Kinshasa, or virtually attend those so that you can make an informed decision about whether you think that will be the right university for you. As it comes to scholarship, at Warwick, we do have various types of scholarship. We provide 250 scholarship to undergraduate students. And this year, in terms of 2022, we had 20 students that were awarded full fee awards, 160 that received £13,000 discount, and then 70 students that received £2,000 discount. We also, for this year again, we had the Al-Bukhari Scholarship, and this will be running again for 2023. So stay tuned. If you're an undergraduate student, or you know somebody, or your siblings are looking for undergraduate program in the UK, so check, do check Al-Bukhari Scholarship at Warwick. And then the Ashinaga. Ashinaga is basically a new flagship program, a scholarship program at Warwick, and it's really aimed towards supporting those that come from low-income family and those that are orphaned. And it's again supporting them with tuition fee, living cost, and leadership training as well. And we're working with a philanthropic organization called Ashinaga, and they have a base in Uganda and in Senegal. And I basically met with them recently, last week, when I was in Uganda. I was in East Africa, Kenya and Uganda. And then in terms of master's scholarship, if you're looking at Warwick University, go to our website, put Warwick University International Scholarship, and it will take you literally to this page or something that looks like this. And you'll be able to really see and spend some time to see what scholarship opportunity there is available. Things to bear in mind, if some scholarship are not open yet, think about if you're applying for departmental scholarship, look at courses that qualify for that particular scholarship. But also look at deadlines. So when do you need to make sure that you have, apply for the scholarship? So look at all of those in terms of eligibility criteria. We also, last year again, we had the Great Scholarship for Kenya and Uganda and many other scholarships. So again, these are things for you to bear in mind as you start looking. So not only putting all your eggs in Chevening Scholarship, if it is that you are looking for scholarship, but also exploring at university scholarship and departmental scholarship as well, whether at Warwick or at the institution. In terms of accommodation, at Warwick, we do have accommodation on campus and off campus. And I'm really gonna sort of just highlight that this range, we cater for various budget and various needs. And we also have family accommodation. And my advice is really to make sure that you apply early so that you can apply for the accommodation as well. I'm gonna be cracking on because I want to make sure that we have enough time for questions as well. But in terms of accommodation, again, please go to our website and have a look at the various options that we have available. And again, if you do apply to Warwick, we'll be able to cover this at a later stage as well. But in terms of sort of living cost and tuition fee, this was basically going with the framing of this year. These are things to bear in mind. The UK government estimates that students need to have a certain amount of money in their bank account in order to come and study in the UK. But of course, if you are, you apply to Chevening and you're successful, then that will be covered through Chevening. Again, Warwick University is a top institution. If you've just joined and you're wondering what are we talking about, we are one of the highly sought out university by the FTSE 100. So that's the top 100 company in the UK. So when they are recruiting from UK university, according to the graduate markets in 2021 high flyer research, we're 6th most targeted university. So as you position yourself for opportunity, making sure that you are positioning yourself with bigger brands that are well known, so that you basically much more strategic in your positioning as well. We also have various supports touch points at Warwick. And again, I'll be happy to cover this at a later stage. But again, you can go to our website and you'll be able to see the various supports that we provide to our students. To sort of summarize, when it comes to applying, whether to Chevening or to any university, be passionate about your topic, read the application guidance by the department, complete basically every element of your application, make sure that you put your reference or you submit the reference detail, you have your transcript, your proposal if you're looking to do a PhD, and check the entry requirement as well. Obviously, coming from a Francophone speaking country, you know that English will be a requirement for you if you haven't studied in English speaking country. Or again, if you're looking to study at Warwick and you didn't graduate within the last 2 years, then you'll need to basically also provide a proof of English. This is what one of our students, now alumni from Kenya, had to say about Warwick, what being at Warwick basically meant for her, and what basically her journey at Warwick was like. Again, while when you do get some time to watch this recording, you can pause and really go through it and understand the type of opportunity that Warwick University will present to you. I tend to say that Warwick University is it's more like a gym membership. There's all of this opportunity, but you have to take yourself there when it comes to all of this positioning and these opportunities. So while this student, Ashley Mungai, was at Warwick, she was the president of the Warwick Africa Summit, and through her tenure, we were able to, because I sit on the board of advisor for the Africa Summit, we were able to invite global leaders from various African countries to come to Warwick University pre-pandemic to engage with our students, but also what I tend to say, friends of Africa, those who are looking toward an Africa that is prosperous, better led, better served, and better governed. And again, these are things that you can basically get involved in as well. As you go to study abroad, don't just go and study. What other skills, professional development can you have by being involved in a particular clubs or society? Some of our students also play for their own country, and therefore by them coming to study at Warwick, also play for Warwick University at basically competitive match with other universities. So again, those could be things that you can explore. But again, to just give you an idea, these are some of the society and clubs that I know typically many African students tend to join, from Warwick Entrepreneur, from Chess Club, Warwick Africa Summit, the Nigerian Society, Game Design Society, public speaking, and you name it. So really, there's many opportunities for you. Even Warwick Economic Summit as well. This is slated to hold in February 2023, and over the year they've basically had over 15 they've had 15 Nobel laureates that have attended and spoke at this conference. So again, if you're looking to do economics, but again you're just looking to come and study at Warwick, these are things that you can be involved in to be able to articulate that by me being at this institution, I was also part of this society that organized this particular conference that brought all of these leaders. It's showing the leadership that you have, but also articulating what you're passionate about. Again, we're still, around. If you have any questions pertaining to Warwick, or you want to find out more about Warwick, go to our YouTube account, and you can basically, there's a plethora of videos that you can watch to really start sort of like framing and deciding whether Warwick is the right institution for you, so that you can, potentially also put an application. I will also leave you with some information, and in your planning, think ahead. These are some of our Warwick alumni. Obviously, you can tell them my slide is very Africa-centric or Pan-Africa-centric. So we have Biens Gawanas from Namibia, Professor Kenneth Mwenda from Zambia, former head of state from Sierra Leone, Charles Adegun Phillips from Nigeria, Honorable Irene Toshi from Ghana, and they all came to work and they all did law. And they're all doing various things. They're all change maker in their own field. So as you decide on what you want to study, think about where you see yourself as well, because your dreams are valid. And then my last, if I can leave you with the 4 C's to success, and I learned this from a lady that I greatly admire from Egypt, is competence, connection, confidence, and charm. So basically, for you to be competent, you need to be, basically you need to be passionate about your subject area, and then your connection, you'll basically gain this by, being involved in various clubs and society. But your connection again will be the people that will mention your name in room that matters. So recently, I was nominated to be, the chair for, BUILA in the UK. And this is basically an institution that represents all the UK university. And again, to have people that basically are mentioning my name in room that matters and are able to nominate me, for me to have the highest votes, and therefore being able to be nominated the chair for this, esteemed institution, BUILA, again, it's through connection. So your connection will look after you. They will become your family away from your family. If they do not see you in class, or if they see that you are not well, they will check up on you. So making sure that you're basically building all of those. Again, start building your connection today as you engage in this platform today. Building your connection with the, Chevening DRC, and then confidence. And there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. So making sure that you are competent in your subject matter, because otherwise your confidence becomes arrogance. And I'm sure we all know few people, not to name anyone or to shame anyone, and that we can put in those categories. So making sure that you're competent, and that your confidence is basically through your competence as well. And then last but not least, charm. So knowing when to crack a joke and when to be serious. So those are my 4 C's to success that I learned from a great leader I admire, that I've been privy to learn from, that also has mentored me over the years. To apply to Warwick, we also do have live chat. So do engage with us via live chat, or do email us if you have any question. And we do also have an open day for those of you who probably going to be in the UK or have family in the UK. They can attend the open day on your behalf and sort of give you an insight whether Warwick is the right fit for you. And if you have any question, you want to reach out to me directly, my contact detail is above. You can contact my team as well. So if you do decide to email me, you can always copy Africa in the mailbox, so that if I'm not in the office, my team can also reach out, attend to you directly. But again, thank you so much for attending today's session. And now we'll pause for question, and I'll stop sharing. Any question at all?